Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for waiting. This is our PM version of the actual news. Today is what? Wednesday, November 20th. And what else is today? Today is President Biden's 82nd birthday. So happy birthday, Mr. President. And to celebrate that, I don't know if you missed our AM actual news version or you saw it or not. I want to show you this video because this video gives me personally pleasure. So President Biden just finished his 6-day tour to Latin America. First it was Peru, then it was Brazil. And so before he returned to U.S., he was boarding Air Force One. And the media, specifically press pool, since they didn't get any answer to any shouted question throughout those 6 days, they started literally asking him to give them an answer to anything because it's your birthday. So if you like Dark Brandon, you will enjoy this.
Mr. President, happy early birthday! For your birthday, will you talk to us, sir? As a gift to the press, will you please talk to us? Mr. President, President Biden! Please, we haven't heard from you all trip! Mr. President!
Okay. That's dedication. Okay, let's see it in a positive way. That's dedication, but also dedication on Biden's end to ignore everything. So Dark Brandon showed up and showed off. So happy birthday to President Biden and Dark Brandon as well. Also, who would have turned today 99 years old is RFK, Robert Kennedy. He was born in 1925, and so today he would have celebrated 99 years. Certainly, him and Ethel are together, and which sort of gives us a bit of bittersweet feeling on his birthday. Now let's see the comments. Who is here? You guys have been waiting. I saw the comments. Lisa says bonsoir. Hello. I have Lisa's video. Lisa has sent a video from a Ukrainian rally, or like not celebration, marking 1,000 years of the invasion. Terry says, hey, Vivian. So, hey, Vivian. Hey, Terry. Listen, those, killed two birds with one stone. Hey, Brandon. Hey, okay. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Who else is here? Terry. Hey, Terry. Hello. I think I just said hello, Terry, but okay. We're all here. All right. Let's... Callie says hi. Hey, Callie, it's so nice to see you here. Awesome. Yay, we all here. Okay. We've been explaining to Lisa that tomorrow is not Thanksgiving. Yes, tomorrow is unfortunately just a Thursday, and then in a week will be Thanksgiving. You know why I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving? Not because of the turkey and all that kind of stuff, but Thursday through Sunday, I will be just working on our app. And our app, believe me, it's going to have such good features. Like, for instance, you can read the newsletter or you can tap and listen to the newsletter. Now, how great is that? Because ain't nobody got time every day to read the entire newsletter. So you can pack your stuff, like get to work and, get that stuff. And the morning news and all that kind of stuff, and the forums. So it'll be very nice, organized, and very easy to navigate. B, hello. Dark Brandon better pardon his son. Indeed. Amen to that. Okay. And expand Supreme Court and all that kind of stuff. But at least this should be certainly on the menu. When I'm working, can listen. Yes, Kelly. So this is what I, thought that the app will have just everything to make your life easier and to be one spot with actual factual news, with interviews, everything just will gonna go there because YouTube is now hiding my videos. Substack was being tried to get acquired by Musk in 2023. Now he's trying it again from my research that I did today. And so no trust. Okay. Listening, reading feature will be lit. Exactly. Right. This is so exciting. Honest News is moving up. I personally have Olga's Our MSNBC channel because they're going under. Oh, thank you, Terry. Yeah, we also, Honest Network already has an app like on Roku and Fire TV. We just don't use it. So we might as well use it soon. So, we just have to have enough content. Vivian has figured it out. Okay. I'm looking forward to hearing it. All right, guys, let's continue. Now, today also, which is really good news, President Biden awarded the Medal of Freedom to Cecile Richards, the former president of Planned Parenthood. And now the best news. He did that completely without any media presence. So we all got this email yesterday that he has literally nothing today on his schedule. And everybody's like, okay, maybe he's back from travel. And well, in secrecy, or they call it privacy, he conducted this ceremony and then posted a picture. And the media started going crazy. Why are we sitting here? We can't even enter. Why don't you tell us? None of your business. And that's pretty much, I guess, his gift to himself on his birthday. Now, at a private ceremony, the following commendation was delivered. And here's the picture, by the way. Quote, with absolute courage and conviction, Cecile Richards fearlessly leads us forward to be the America we say we are, a nation of freedom. Carrying her parents' torch for justice, she's led some of our nation's most important civil rights causes to lift up the dignity of workers, defend and advance women's reproductive rights and equality, and mobilize Americans to exercise their power to vote. A leader of utmost character, she has carved an inspiring legacy that endures in her incredible family, the countless lives she has made better, and a nation seeking the light of equality, justice, and freedom. And believe me, we're going to seek that light of equality, justice, and freedom for the next 4 years, So we better, keep our eyes open, just follow the light in a good way. Now, President Biden also released a statement on Transgender Day of Remembrance. Quote, today on Transgender Day of Remembrance, we mourn the transgender Americans whose lives were taken this year in horrific acts of violence. There should be no place for hate in America, and yet too many transgender Americans, including young people, are cruelly targeted and face harassment simply for being themselves. It's wrong. My administration has taken significant action to strengthen the rights and protect the safety of all Americans, including working across the federal government to combat violence against transgender Americans. Every American deserves to be treated with dignity and respect and to live free from discrimination. Today, we recommit ourselves to building a country where everyone is afforded that promise. And if you have followed the mainstream media, no news, where they constantly cover this lady Mace, right? That is writing letters and posting over around 300 times on Twitter, prohibiting the first transgender House representative from Delaware from using female bathroom. That's what her devotion is, because she is scared to get raped there or whatever. Now, this is the answer that Joe Biden delivered in a way of a statement. And certainly now Democratic Party can rely on that and quote him. Now, as to tomorrow, President Biden will sign the Congenital Heart Futures Reauthorization Act of 2024. The bill signing is in the Oval Office and will be, again, without press. You follow? Okay. In the afternoon, the president will receive the president's daily brief, and then he will welcome Boston Celtics. If you love the NBA, well, they are the NBA champions, to the White House to celebrate their victory in the 2024 NBA championship. So of course this will be in the south, on the south lawn, and of course every press and all that kind of stuff will be welcome. People will deliver their speech for 10 minutes and get a gift from them and hee hee ha ha and be done with it. So the point is, why I started this with the birthday video, why we continue that with the award today, right? And privacy. And then tomorrow we're signing an act. And yes, there will be one videographer and one one editorial person from the pool, but nobody's going to scream. Nobody's going to go nuts. So I guess this is what President Biden is choosing for the next weeks until he's leaving, unfortunately. Now, as to Trump, who is coming in, listen, that bronzer story. So Trump went to Texas to witness SpaceX, that rocket launch, right? Elon Musk is conducting those studies or research, whatever, tests for his major rocket, right? So it went up, all was fine, and then the numbers showed that it won't be successfully caught by those things, right? It lands by being caught by those, I don't know, it's like iron hands, whatever you call it. Now I sound like Trump, a bit clueless, but anyway. So this mission was aborted, and so the rocket landed in the ocean and exploded. But they say it was a positive test because they tested something else, what they wanted to see. Okay, good. I don't understand anything about it, so I'm just saying what I hear. Now, Trump was there watching all of this go down together with Musk. Look at right, watch it and check out that bronzer story. And also, he's kind of shutting up, and Musk is talking nonstop. Take a look. Ozempic. Anyway, because you guys are commenting on his nose, and what's this? The Osborne? Yeah, the Osborne family. Check out the ladies from Osborne family that are on Ozempic and heavily are advocating against Ozempic because they got the Ozempic face. Look at the features there, and then make your decisions. Bonnie is here. Hey, Bonnie. Hello. Hello. And everybody says, hi, Bonnie. Okay. Also, is it just me, or does that not look like Trump? He's just on Ozempic. I'm sorry. I'm not his physician, nor I'm injecting him with Ozempic. But this is my guesstimation. His demeanor changes, his look changes. It is him, but anyway, what was interesting, and this is I want to ask Terry and Bonnie to tell us what happened here, because they are in medical field, so they can tell us exactly what happened. I can only guesstimate. Check out Don Jr. at the same event. Here he goes. What did you do? What did he do here? Is it what I think he did? The pocket, the teeth, the pocket back again. Terry, Bonnie, tell us. Am I dreaming of White Snowy Christmas, or is it what I see is it true? Terry, okay. See, Nurses for Harris. Terry, here we go. Drugging, yes. Coca, hey Jay's here. Hello. Robbing gums with Okay, so I'm not delusional. That's very nice. It's not delulu. That's fantastic. Now, who is delusional is the House blocked ethics report on Matt Gaetz amid bipartisan calls for transparency. So the House of Representatives has declined to vote in favor of revealing an ethics report detailing findings related to allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use against Representative Matt Gaetz. I see a theme here, the people chosen. The report has drawn intense scrutiny, particularly as Gaetz has been nominated for President-elect Donald Trump, or by him, for the position of Attorney General. And so both parties in the Senate are asking to release the report. Now, I want to warn you, there were several YouTubers, American YouTubers, that went live today reading some AI produced document saying, oh, it's been leaked and now we're going to read it and it's going viral. It has nothing to do with the actual report. And if you listen to them reading it, you just will realize that you're taking for a trip, but they portray it to be real. So be conscious, be cautious, okay? Everything what we can do, what's in our hands, is to consume actual news. Okay, I do think it will be leaked, but don't get duped in watching some videos that have nothing to do with reality. Now, Senator from Alaska, Senator Lisa Murkowski, emphasized the importance of conducting a rigorous examination of Gates' background. Take a look.
I would like to see our committees do their full job. I'm not interested in a process that would just say, well, because the president has named him and you have Republican chairs coming into the new Congress, we just move people out. There needs to be legitimate vetting. When I say legitimate, I mean just thorough vetting that the committees do. This is our job.
Exactly. This is your job. This is why people voted for you, and vote NYC, voted for you and sent you to Washington, D.C., not to rub your teeth or do whatever, or Venmo girls $10,000 publicly for sexual advances. And by the way, I want to ask you to never, ever, ever read any court ruling or report or anything that has to do with the owner of WWE, because his wife has been now nominated by Trump to lead the Department of Education, or dismantle it, as they say. And so she has a husband, and they both are mentioned in one lawsuit. Then he has another lawsuit that has to do with literally doo-doo. So please don't read it, because I read it yesterday. Still feel it. So anyway, moving on. The ethics report prepared by the House Ethics Committee remains under wraps for now, leaving unanswered questions. Now, I think the key here is for now. It will be leaked. There is no world where nothing is leaked of this major importance. And so will he be approved? I don't know. But yesterday I joined the CFR, Council on for Foreign Affairs, and the former senior administration official, or the one that worked on the Biden transition period, administration transition period. He said that, what he hears is that Trump doesn't want to put Gates away or remove him as the nominee. But if he were not to be approved, one of his lawyers, including Alina Habba, comes in question. Okay. In other news, Stephen Miller, the one who loves seeing kids crying in cages, says that Trump mass deportation will begin in the second he's sworn in. And I told you literally yesterday during the live stream at night, the PM version, I told you that I have this visual, because I applied to cover it and all that kind of the credential process. And I have this visual that he will use his inauguration speech to announce the deportations, close borders, put us in a state of emergency, all that kind of mess. Like, I literally have this vision, and I don't know why I have it. But here's the guy. Take a look.
It's going to be at light speed, Sean. The moment that President Trump puts his hand on that Bible and takes the oath of office, as he has said, the occupation ends, Liberation Day begins. He will immediately sign executive orders, sealing the border shut, beginning the largest deportation operation in American history.
And he's excited. He's like, hey, giddy up. Anyway, who is now literally helping this notion is Texas. And so Texas released a whole letter. I put the whole letter in your newsletter tonight. And by the way, if you're not on the newsletter, get on board. It's free. honest.substack.com. We will be transferring the newsletter to the app. Okay, so everything will be in one spot, because I don't trust nothing anymore at this point. So, but get on board. Only those who are subscribed will get an invitation to join the app, because we have to vet people somehow. All right, so they sent this letter, which you can't read, obviously, it's tiny, but here, so it says, it from Texas General Land Office. I talked about it this morning, but here it goes. Dear, they call it president, but President-elect Trump, I'm writing to formally offer 1,402 acres of land in Starr County, Texas, to be used to construct deportation facilities. The Texas General Land Office currently owns this exact amount of acres, roughly 35 miles west from McAllen, Texas. My office is fully prepared to enter into agreement with the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or the United States Border Patrol to allow a facility to be built for the processing, detention, and coordination of the largest deportation of violent criminals in the nation's history. Now think, why would they need to do it? Because the rumor is that the people will not be deported, or at least not all, but will be kept in those deportation or whatever centers and literally work for free. And maybe it's me, but are we going back to free labor, aka and people held hostage like slavery? Are we going back to this? Disgusting. Very worrisome. And you see, because when I mentioned that, okay, he will be calling for a state of emergency and then mobilizing National Guard, and everybody came on to me, oh, he can't do anything. He's not a governor. Only governors can do. Don't you think that at least a handful of governors will actually obey the orders? I think it's only few who will not. So again, one day at a time, but certainly kind of weird. Now, to cleanse the palate here quickly, at the G20 meeting in Brazil, the Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau addressed Donald Trump's stance on climate. And I think they're finding their balls a little bit and talking really straightforward. Take a look.
Sure. So yeah, I'm worried about the U.S. Stepping back on the fight against climate change. But from a Canadian perspective, we have demonstrated and we have seen that fighting climate change can both help directly with affordability by putting more money in people's pockets with the Canada Carbon Rebate. It's creating tremendous opportunity for growth and investment. We've seen, Canada was number 3 country in the world for foreign direct investment last year. A lot of it because of clean energy, a lot of it because of environmental leadership and responsibility. We have the number 1 EV battery supply chain in the world, according to Bloomberg. And these are things that we have done because we're harnessing the economic opportunities of climate change. And if the United States steps back on the kind of innovation and supports that, for example, we have in our tax credits on clean investment, on innovative energy solutions, then more investment will be coming into Canada. We're already number 1 in the G20 for per capita for foreign direct investment. We've seen foreign direct investment increase by 60% since 2015, largely because of our investments in fighting climate change that are attractive to companies around the world. If people look at the United States as not a place where it's interesting to innovate and fight climate change, people will automatically turn to Canada. And if Mr. Trump doesn't want to take on the opportunities associated with climate change, Canada will continue to.
Sorry. Okay, that was nice. And, Terry, rightfully so, says there's 23 states have Democratic governors. I believe they will not allow the BS in their states. But New York is very, or at least New York City is very blue. But literally our neighborhoods here were rattled by ice and people were dragged out of their homes. We saw it. So let's see. I hope you're right, but we'll see. And Vivian, yes. So they didn't put the bid right for the 1,400 acres. They offered them. They offered to rent it out for it. So not bidding like in terms of like it's a competition. Maybe there will be a competition. Who knows? We might be able to flip VA governor to blue in 2025. Yes, that would be wonderful. I mean, yes. Okay. So this is from Pentagon, and they are asking reporters who listen to share it and to talk about it. So this is today in your newsletter, And this is what I want to read out to you because that's what they're asking us to do. Trump's Schedule F revival and budget uncertainty shake Pentagon. So, President-elect Trump plans to reintroduce policies targeting federal employees, particularly the controversial Schedule F reclassification, have raised concerns among Pentagon officials and federal workers. Mike McCord, a Pentagon controller, warned that such measures could harm productivity and morale, particularly within the Defense Department. So, during his first term, Trump signed an executive order reclassifying thousands of career federal employees as Schedule F, making them at-will workers who could be fired more easily. So he refers to them as those workers who will stay at the agency regardless who's president. So that's the Schedule F in short. Critics viewed the move as an attack on the civil service and politicization of government. President Biden rescinded the order, but Trump has pledged to revive the policy in his second term. McCord cautioned against this approach, stating, "There's a lot of hardworking, dedicated people in the Defense Department, and if you work with them instead of trying to stump them, I think that we will get to a much better place." He also noted that anxiety about the potential return of Schedule F is already affecting career employees' productivity. Then there are also budget delays. McCord predicted that the current continuing resolution, the CR, for the fiscal 2025 budget set to expire in December will likely extend into March as the Republican-controlled Congress asserts its influence. However, he downplayed the potential gains from such delays, calling them marginal. The frequent use of CRs, which freeze federal spending at prior year levels, has long been criticized by the Defense Department for hindering modernization and delaying new programs. McCord highlighted that over the past 16 years, CRs have consumed about a third of the fiscal year on average, which he labeled as ridiculous. Now, despite ongoing budget uncertainties, the Defense Department has nearly finalized its fiscal 2026 budget. However, McCord noted that the incoming Trump administration has not signed transition documents, delaying coordination between outgoing and incoming officials. So, and this is where it matters. This is where I literally shared yesterday, again, from the former Biden administration official who worked on transition, that according to his knowledge, Trump does not receive classified briefings. Maybe he receives them straight from Kremlin, who knows, but certainly not from the White House. Why? Because he didn't sign the ethics agreement or code or whatever. Why? Because that kicks off officially the transition period, meaning the incoming administration will share everything with the current administration and vice versa. So Biden already started sharing everything. So I shared with you a video last week after the meeting between Trump and Biden at the Oval Office of the White House that they said, we're reaching out, we're giving them everything, but we're not getting anything in return. So we're happy to facilitate them with an office at the White House and everything. But if they want to check us out, we're here. And so there are more reasons to it. If they do sign off on this official transition period, then they have to start negotiating the Defense Department budget. But if he wants to dismantle, part of it and fire people, then revealing that and putting that into the budget would be too early, right? Because media will get a hint of it, Congress, Senate, Congress, the House, everybody, right? So, or Senate, you got me, right? Congress altogether will get the hint. The point being is that, for instance, today, I'm not playing this video because it's like a propaganda bullshit, but the nominated defense secretary, he went on a podcast and he started sharing that, yeah, even if we can't mobilize really fully the National Guard, but we already for years have been working with this Christian army that is all motivated to see Trump as a leader, so sort of like religious leader, and now they've been trained as a military, and we have enough of those. So what is true, what is not? Again, one day at a time, one step at the time, but certainly they're not opening their cards. Now, as the Pentagon braces for potential workforce disruptions under Schedule F and grapples with budget delays, McCord emphasized the importance of cooperation and stability. And this is important because we have Ukraine, we have Indo-Pacific, we have Israel. A lot of things are happening and certainly concern directly Pentagon. Is that where Mike Flynn comes in? Well, he wants to work. I showed you the video yesterday. As to Flynn, he wants to work on the with Tulsi Gabbard. So that's, I don't know, seriously. If anyone can join us, ACLU, do so. They can help with civil rights issues. Okay, that's a good point. Brendan says, have you heard about the Blue Govs forming a group to stop Trump from evading their states? Yes, and Trump already has addressed it, saying that either you play with us or you're going to find it out the harsh way, whatever that means. You know, we have a mobster situation here. So again, one step at a time. Okay, so RK Jr. posted a hella weird video. So this is the guy who was Dr. Oz, supposed to take care of our health. He posted this video on his Instagram. Got the comments as to, oh my God, you're so sweet, you're so cute, whatever. I don't think it's cute. I think it's disturbing. Take a look.
I just found in my house. That's called a bird grasshopper. Here he is. These grasshoppers, I'm going to let them go. These grasshoppers are actually quite large. But they have 2 generations each summer, and then they overwinter in this big adult phase like that. And
He didn't eat it. I was waiting for him to eat it somehow. I don't know why, but he squeezed it, then went outdoors and then put him out. It's 2-minute situation, 1.5 minute situation with a grasshopper. That hand was fast. That hand was fast. Good. Yeah. He's a sadist. Yeah, Jay, you get that too? I got that too from this video. I'm like, I thought he will eat this thing or squeeze it to death or whatever. Like something will happen, you know, but he didn't. But anyway, now MAGA got confronted at a podcast recording. Now, this is the Gen Z MAGA. Let's see what they talk about Ukraine. Now, the guy who I think, I don't want to make up his name, but he works together with the Gen Z folks, Democratic folks that boarded the buses and went through the battleground states advocating for Harrison Walz during the election season. So, but he went on this podcast Bonnie, you also thought you would eat it? Yeah, me too. I was waiting for it. Like, he's gonna eat this thing now? No, he didn't. And then say it's protein or whatever. Anyway, but look at this podcast.
And look at, what was his name? Vladimir Zelensky? Wasn't he like dancing in high heels? Was that true? I don't even know if
What do you
that
think
was
his
real.
last name is?
No, like, what was his name? Like Zelensky. Zelensky, right. It's been a long time with 2 Y's at the end, which always was like, why is there 2 Y's at the end? Yeah. Zelensky, leader of Gay Crane.
Did you just call Ukraine Gay Crane?
Yeah, it's just ingrained in my vocabulary.
Okay,
My
you
very
say,
extensive
I take
vocabulary.
everything too seriously.
Yeah, you do.
What you're talking about, you know what I'm about to say,
I actually don't.
is a country that's been invaded and a bunch of their citizens slaughtered, and you're thinking, gay.
That's kind of funny the way you just said that. That was actually good. Good job being funny for once. No, I don't think that's a good thing. I don't like seeing innocent people dying, but I also don't think that's our job to send our money there. We have people that need help here, if anything, first over these other countries.
What? First of all, there's no way I'm going to be able to explain to you the importance of supporting Ukraine in this situation.
Are you serious?
We couldn't talk about the fake electoral scheme.
Oh my gosh.
But our global adversary thinking it's acceptable for them to take over other countries, destabilize Europe and the world. If we say, we're not going to do anything, you take over Ukraine, they then are, number one, violating the sovereignty of one of our allies. But also, if we give them 20% like Trump wants to do of the country, or 30%, 40%, Putin wants to go further and further. The only way it's going to stop, like his other invasions that we didn't take seriously enough, is going to be if we force him into failure. But again, I'm sure you'll just say, nah.
I mean, I'm just like not a like geopolitical
Yeah,
expert.
there we go.
I'm
So
just
don't
being-
Why I'm showing you this. This is a very popular source of information for Gen Z MAGA world on TikTok. When we hear that this is how people find out about the news. So I was digging and trying to find out like how, I posted literally my 18 minutes of the AM actual news from today and got banned. I don't know, and then it was hidden. Now it's like 70 views, precious views. Anyway, so this is popular. This is being prompted by TikTok. Again, he is from the Democratic Party and they're debating MAGA every night. Certainly, somehow, allegedly, it's a project by DNC or not, who knows. But this lady here, never hit a person, but don't put me near her. She's very provoking, to say the least, especially for somebody who's Ukrainian-born U.S. citizen. And very aggressively ignorant. That's the worst attribute about people that, what really ticks me off. Anyway, but this is source of information for MAGA Gen Z. Can you believe it? Disgusting. Exactly, Terry. Bonnie, what a twit. Exactly. Yep. Okay, so Musk got himself in a problem with UK. So MPs in the UK are to summon Elon Musk to testify about X's role in UK's summer riots. Remember when the two girls, or there were a few girls that were in a dance class, they were learning Taylor Swift choreography, and one guy came in and started shooting. And then somehow through X propaganda, people understood that he was a Muslim. And so there was this riots against Muslim population and all of that stuff. And so for this reason, UK wants to summon Musk to testify about the role of his platform in those riots. Comments inquiry into rise of harmful content on social media also expected to call Meta and TikTok executives. And now Musk writes, his snarky reply, they will be summoned to the United States of America to explain their censorship and threats to American citizens. Sounds like Putin, who wants to protect Russian-speaking citizens in Ukraine by murdering them. That's the notion, I'm going to kick you because you're not protecting our citizens in your place. Why? This is a different country. And also, why is Musk speaking as sort of like a president? He does not have any position in the government. He will not have any position in the government because that would prompt him to first go through the checks, right? FBI and all that kind of stuff. And also to lose his businesses, which he won't do. So why all this very ignorant talk? Now, yesterday, I showed you a video marking 1,000 days of the invasion, full-scale invasion into Ukraine. This video is in tonight's newsletter. So if you missed it or you want to share it, it's in the newsletter. It's over 3 minutes. And so I can't share it on Blue Sky because Blue Sky only allows for videos to be 59 seconds or less. And I think Terry asked about me going live on Blue Sky. They don't have such option. So I would if I could. But now, all around the world, I want to show you a few different spaces where people mark those 1,000 days. And I want us to be reminded that it's 10 years of war. Ukraine was invaded first in 2014. 2,000 Ukrainians were dying per month since 2014. Then 1,001 day today back. Ukraine was experiencing now full-scale invasion by Russia. So this was in Kiev. I showed it in the morning. Perhaps you missed it. So this statue is the motherland, so to speak, right? And see, they put the different candles on the lower end. It has stairs, so they put 1,000 candles on the stairs, marking every day of this brutal invasion. Then this was New York City. This was yesterday, and so people gathered there. They held speeches and marches and all that kind of stuff. And that's what Lisa sent us. So also she witnessed by accident, a gathering in Paris. And so here's a video that Lisa sent us. So let's all take a look. And thank you, Lisa, for sending it.
Marché de Noël, il y a plein de petites œuvres, plein de créations de printemps et tout. Il y aura bien sûr des bijoutiers, art de la table, décorations pour la maison et également des livres. Donc venez s'il vous plaît, toutes les collectes seront pour aide de ce corps. Donc c'est ce samedi, le samedi 7 décembre, samedi de droite.
So this is Lisa F. Moore. Follow, by the way, everybody who you chat with here or not, follow each other, because like-minded people and community is what's going to keep us sane. And thank you, Lisa, for sending this. And I'm touched really that people are gathering together, that people are not forgetting, but they're also, recognizing the struggle. And honestly, when we speak to people who live under daily attacks for 1,000 days, we witness people going from very anxious, not knowing what to do next. And then they decided to stay. And then they were numb for several months. And this was the scariest thing, to speak to your, family members or friends, neighbors who are just numb. And they're like, oh, whatever, I don't. And then they survive, and then anxious again. And then they're hopeful. And so for this reason, when today all the shrut was shared online, that allegedly now Trump is going to give nukes to Zelensky. Bullshit. That President Biden was asking permission from Trump at the Oval Office to allow Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia. What kind of bullshit is that? First of all, Biden would not do it. Second of all, he would not even tell that to Trump unless his notion was to inform Putin in advance, which is, and Trump would never agree to that. But all the shrut was really, really circling around the media, also prompted by Ukrainian media, especially what is about that nuclear thing. Oh my God, Trump is going to give us nukes. Hell to the no. And so I feel very frustrated when I hear from Ukrainians who are there, bombed and targeted every single day, those civilians who have this false hope in Trump because media twists this whole thing. And this is just like, can we stop giving space to every single person who has an opinion? Let me ask my neighbors what they have, in terms of opinions. This is not this type of thing. And I really want to commend Zelensky, president of Ukraine, the video that I showed you yesterday, or I had the readout on that, where he said, listen, Trump's plans, concepts of a plan, fine, but we won't talk to him seriously until he is inaugurated, because this requires presidential authority to decide on what to do next. Period. End of story. Can we just hear from administration officials? Stop. Horrible. And then New York Times, I was fighting with them this morning, and then it went viral. And then I just, why I was delayed, I was in a meeting with somebody senior level in the administration of Australia. And we talked about, it was hosted by Democracy. I'll have the exact name of the nonprofit. But they talk about Murdoch and how Murdoch took over that media and started filing lawsuits against those who actually, journalists who hired, who actually reported on the actuality of his doings, on the propaganda pieces, if you will. And so he started suing companies. And why I'm sharing this, in all this talk, one thing was said, that mainstream media is niche media. It's not mainstream media. And New York Times is a niche publication. And people with newsletters, Substacks, and independent journalists, if they can stay upbeat and find financing, they will become the mainstream media, because they already are mainstream media. And I thought, hallelujah, mazel tov. This is good news. So that's why I'm mentioning New York Times. Now, President Biden announced today additional aid for Ukraine. And so this is what's included in it. The Presidential Drawdown Authority package, which has an estimated value of $275 million, will provide Ukraine additional capabilities to meet its urgent needs, including munitions for rocket systems and artillery and anti-tank weapons. And as you see here, certainly you have to service HIMARS, you have to service Javelins, and and also this chemical and biological, radiological, nuclear protective equipment. This is something what has not been included in previous packages. This what stood out to me first. Chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear protective equipment. Interesting. Now, by the way, I want to again repeat, per Pentagon, there is no direct threat from Russia or anybody in terms of utilizing nuclear warfare against us. None of it has been moved from spot to spot. Nothing raises concerns. They have confirmed it in the press briefing yesterday by the Deputy Press Secretary of Pentagon. I put it in your newsletter too. Now, the first footage emerged of the Storm Shadow missile strike on alleged Russian command center. And now, why is it huge? So first of all, remember I told you that there is a ban not just to use ATACMS, right? Those missiles that are made in the U.S., long-range missiles that Zelensky has been, asking for, and finally has the permission to use them, and is using them. And we're going to talk about it in a second. But also Storm Shadow. This is UK's missile, but it contains parts made in the US, and so it was under this ban. And so since this ban was lifted by President Biden, Ukraine will not wait and has not been waiting and has utilized it. So here's the thing. Take a look. This is a Google Map thing. So let's focus on that, that building there. So the first footage has surfaced of a reported Storm Shadow missile attack on what is believed to be an underground command center of the Russian armed forces. This facility is reportedly concealed beneath this historic Marino estate in the Kursk region. Kursk, that's where Ukrainians had this incursion into, right? And so this beautiful estate is actually gorgeous. Underneath, actually, I wish I could mark it. You don't see my mouse, right? See my hand on this level? Okay, left from the center, that little, like a square, like half a square. That underneath was a bunker where that Putin utilized, and most importantly, for now, also North Korean generals reportedly were there. And so here's one video. It has little to no sound, but you can literally see them being hit. Take a look. So you see on the left, that's the estate on your right. And then on the left, that half a square, that's being hit. And then the next one missile is coming, boom. Okay, targeting another entrance into the bunker. And then it continues. Up to 7 Storm Shadows were sent into this area and conducted the strike. So the Marino estate, known for its historical significance, now serves as a sanatorium under the control of the Russian presidential administration. The attack appears to have targeted a key structure in the estate's eastern section, described as a communications hub and potentially a fortified command post. Speculation suggests the site may have hosted Russian military leadership and possibly North Korean generals, given their forces' reported presence in the region. The use of a Storm Shadow missile equipped with a 450-kilogram warhead designed to penetrate protected facilities underscores the strategic importance of the target. The newly released footage reportedly captures the moment of the missile strike. And you see here, one after another. Okay, this goes on for 3 more minutes and this whole thing blows up. Now, this here has sound. This is a Russian guy. He speaks in Russian. It doesn't matter how he speaks. Listen to the sound of those missiles hitting the estate. He was right next to the estate. Take a look.
В машине сидел, выбежал аж. О. Ебать, блядь. Взрывают сейчас. Вон там дым идет. Еще они там забомбили. Еще один прилет летит. Ебать! Ебать нахрен. Вот это взрывы, а! Серег, хрен его знает, мы, наверное, сейчас ломанемся отсюда. Ебать, бля. Пиздец, хрен знает, я здесь сейчас, бля. Ебать, бля, пиздец.
And he keeps on filming it. And he says, listen, buddy, I guess it's time for us to leave. Like, no shit, you have to leave. I have no compassion. I'm sorry. Happy 1,000 days. And happy birthday to President Biden and everybody involved. They wanted the big attack today on Kiev and did absolutely nothing. Was false alarm. Well, they got their thing. Congratulations. Disgusting. Hate these people. I thought he would. That was about the. I didn't scroll all the way. You guys are okay. Instead, Russian for what the fuck? Yeah, he was saying, "Oh, whore or bitch." Oh my god, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he doesn't sound that as if he were so bright. My thought too, Bonnie. Yeah, they must have knowledge of hard chatter of bionuclear warfare. Yeah, that's the point of this. What's included in the PDA. Hey, Maurice, maybe that will knock some sense into Russian people who don't think it's a big deal what Putin is doing. They're very, very trained in ignorance, because that's why people, even in my family, who are no longer with us, unfortunately, but they grew up in Soviet Union and they were programmed to think that this was the best time. You know, everybody worked, women worked, men worked, they had kids, everybody struggled. You had to stay in a line that went over several streets, blocks, as you say here, to get milk. And you were like, it was a woman who was like, okay, you got your bottle of milk, good for the month. Okay, come next month. That's where all those jokes came from. Reagan, right? When he was saying that somebody, had to give the money, which is true, to get a car in 10 years. And they said, I'm sorry, are you coming in the morning or in the evening? And they're like, what does it matter? Because my, somebody who's going to fix my pipes is coming in the morning. So I had to schedule. And that's the joke, right? 10 years up front. But the Russian people, that's my point, are very trained in ignorance, are trained to think that whatever they have is the best. So they will be presented that this is not Ukraine, this is NATO. And they will be motivated to stand up and start fighting NATO. That's sort of the idea. And to be still misinformed almost 3 years in as to that you marched into sovereign country and you started killing people and you do it daily and you spend so much money. Their entire economy is collapsing as we speak. Literally, today they ran out of everything. They're printing their rubles, until the paper's over, it's not even enough they don't have enough paper to do that. So it's horrible. Now they're including North Korea. North Korea sends soldiers. Iran is about to send soldiers. They use North Korean missiles. They use now Chinese drones. This big ass nation has not enough to conquer little Ukraine. And Ukraine that had to fight with one hand behind the back, because we're going to give you this, but you can't use it. We're going to give you that, but you can't use it. What happened with the missiles, right? If you think, well, if Ukraine had ATACMS, why couldn't it just use it? They were locks. So, for instance, you get a missile, you can't program it to a certain distance because there's a lock, like at a car. Like you can get a car in Europe, for instance, and, it doesn't have a speed limit. You can go on Autobahn and fly. Other places, you get a car and it has a speed limit on it. That's the story there as well. So, and that's why Ukraine couldn't, do what's in their even capacity during those almost 3 years. But for Russians, misinformation is just going to tell them how wonderful everything is. It reminds me when I lived in Netherlands, and this wasn't propaganda. This was just their bullshit filter in the evening, because it's a queendom and now it's kingdom. Current king's mother, she would come in at 6 p.m. and there was the news, and she would say, news or whatever. And she says, everything is well in the kingdom. Good night. And I thought, what kind of news is that? But they filtered the BS, right? Whatever mattered, they would tell you. Whatever doesn't matter, they're going to tell you. Everything is good in the kingdom. But other side, if it's reversed and used as a propaganda, that's where people miss out on the reality. And so many young men have been sent off. Exactly. I mean, I don't really understand. I mean, they will have to put their women into workforce heavily because they run out of men. So population will decline. They're probably going to use those North Koreans, and they're going to mix and match. So that's the next thing, and there is no other way around it. Now, yesterday, Ukraine reportedly used ATACMS to strike Bryansk in Russia. President Zelensky commented on the attack on a Russian ammunition storage in Bryansk region. And he says, quote, "Sorry, no extra details. Ukraine has long-range capabilities. We have long-range drones of our own production. We now have a long-range Neptune missile, and not just one. And now we have ATACMS, and we will use all of this," the president said. So I guess that's Dark Volodymyr. We have Dark Brandon, and this is Dark Volodymyr. Now, Russia leaked news that they're planning for a new world order, which is like complete BS. All of that new world order goes about Ukraine, and specifically in dividing Ukraine into 3 parts. And so that's what they aim to achieve by 2045. Putin is 71, according to papers, but in reality, he was adopted, and his mom wasn't really a good woman. Anyway, and he was way older, but whatever. The papers say, I guess he's 71. 2045? What ambitions do you have, honey? Russia aims to present a new world order plan to U.S. leadership, Trump. That's what they mean by that. Focusing on the breakup of Ukraine and the global balance of power by 2045. The proposal, developed by Russia's defense ministry, suggests dividing Ukraine into 3 parts. The western regions would be given to neighboring countries like Poland, Hungary, and Romania. Key word is Hungary. The King Orban. Eastern areas would be annexed by Russia. That's where I'm from. And the remaining territory, including Kiev, would become a Russian-controlled puppet state. Where I'm from, I meant Kharkiv, the eastern part of Ukraine, not Russia. But interesting story. The plan envisions the collapse of Ukraine as an independent nation. The proposal also includes 4 scenarios for the future global order, 2 favoring Russia and 2 detrimental to it. A Russian victory in Ukraine is linked to a multipolar world and regional chaos, while defeat would lead to U.S. dominance. That's what they're going to sell to Trump. Let Ukraine lose because then you will be dominant. Or China's rise as the leading global power. That's what I believe more. This new plan is part of Russia's broader effort to challenge the post-World War II global financial system and U.S. influence, with previous Kremlin discussions focused on dismantling Western dominance and creating a new global structure. So I'm just worried that we don't have people who will stop Trump from believing BS that he will be dominant if Ukraine loses. Surrounding yourself by yes people or those who are lacking a few, that's the danger we run in. So, now, this is interesting. So North Korea now harasses South Korea with sounds, not just drones, with sounds. Take a look. And I had to plug my my computer and I unplugged my light. Hey, here we go. Very white. Looks like I died yesterday. Okay, back to normal. Okay, here we go. Back to normal. So that's the sounds, and they play 24/7. People in South Korea are reporting they have no clue when this will stop. And they show kids going to school with all this noise. And playing in the garden, whatever. So that's sort of their new strategy to, I guess, let South Koreans jump into the water. I don't know what the plan is here. What's the comment here? Bonnie says Putin also made comment about New World Order after Donald Trump election. Yeah, I will find the video because that video is huge. So when Trump election results in 2016 and his win were pretty early here, right? We knew by around 9 p.m. that he's winning. In Russia, this was plus 7 hours. So it's like nighttime. And so their politicians came live on state television with champagne, like it's New Year's, cheering and saying, "We conquered USA," without firing a single shot. I'm going to find you that video because that's reality. That's not even, propaganda or anything. All right. So one thing I want to read out, this was in your newsletter yesterday, but this is kind of important. So RAND report was created for Pentagon on balancing U.S. defense of Taiwan and avoiding nuclear escalation. So a new RAND Corporation study, Denial Without Disaster, Keeping a U.S.-China Conflict Over Taiwan Under the Nuclear Threshold, underscores the critical role of U.S. long-range strike capabilities in defending Taiwan while cautioning against the risks of nuclear escalation. And so they're talking about China's rapid nuclear military advancements, including new intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, and fractional orbital bombardment systems have raised the stakes for conflict scenarios. By 2030, China is expected to have a secure second strike capability, altering the strategic calculus. The U.S. is advancing long-range strike weapons, including hypersonic missiles and the stealth B-21 Raider bomber, to deter Chinese aggression. However, using these systems against mainland China risks significant escalation, requiring careful targeting and operational planning. And then they asked different generals, and they started not fighting, but really having a discussion on whether it would be provoking China if let's say they strike our ally, which is Taiwan. Would it be a nuclear provocation if U.S. would be striking mainland China? So that's pretty much the scenarios they're discussing. The study recommends creating an escalation management center of excellence to train military personnel in balancing operational goals with escalation management. It also suggests trade-offs such as slower operational tempos and distant engagements to reduce risks. And so strategic considerations are, the report highlights the importance of denying China's People's Liberation Army operational sanctuaries while emphasizing the need for clear communication. Former defense strategist Mark Gunsinger argues that counterstrikes on mainland Chinese military targets could deter attacks on U.S. bases and allied territories despite their escalatory risks. Now, why is it important? Because in that readout in your newsletter, if this is something you like reading, they talk about how far are we physically from China. Because if we think about Guam, right, where we have military base, very short distance. If we think about mainland, U.S. is a different distance, but now North Korea, for instance, has capabilities to reach us, same as China. So for that reason, if this is something that's of an interest to you, it doesn't drive you nuts, but you rather want to learn, it's in your newsletter, okay? It's to unnerve the South Korea, sort of like U.S. soldiers playing rock and roll out to spook enemy combatants. Yeah, that's yes, thank you, Bonnie. That's to the sound that they're playing. I lived on Guam. It's all military. Lisa, yes. Yeah. I'd love to hear more about that stuff, but I've never been there. But yeah, it's very close, right? And so China now has this mega port in Latin America. Yes, shortening their trade distance, or the shipping distance. But what else are they shipping there? So it's an interesting stance. Okay, before we leave, I have two videos. One it's like weird, one it's cute. Okay, so this is for the soul, so to speak. So we finish on a good note. So this here is amazing. In China, there's a guy who has a personal robot. It's true though. He has a mini robot that is in his office, and then he works in this exhibition place with other robots. And so you will have to read it now. So he let his robot in the office to charge, and then this happened. Take a look. 'This guy just like followed the robot. Like, you can go home. I don't have a home. I have a home. Let's go. And he just left. Cute. Gives me a little Wall-E moment. And that my favorite cartoon, or movie. But that's kind of weird. So this guys can unite. Now, this is the cute one here. There's a parrot that gave birth to babies, and the parrot, talks human language, English, and tells the little babies, "Now I love you." Take a look. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Gonna feed the babies. I guess the baby's gonna speak English too very soon. So anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow morning with our AM actual news. So in the morning, my target is 15 minutes maximum. So really to deliver the news that you need to know, very short, concise, straight to the point, what you need to know before you start your day or as you are beginning your day. And then in the evening, that's where we're diving in. We watch clips, all that kind of stuff. And we talk to each other. Okay. So that's the idea. Brilliant. Yeah. The parrot. So cute. Yeah. Aw, Bonnie is touched. Callie says, thank you as always. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Maurice. Have a great evening. Yes, have a great evening, everybody. As I always say, all this crazy stuff is meant to shock you into indifference and inaction. So try not to be numb. You don't have to protest. We don't have to. This is not what we do. But let's not forget what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. Let's not obey. Let's not, play this emo and put our head into the sand. Yes, it is a reality. No, we don't like it, but we will survive. Okay? So try not to become numb to anything. Hug your loved ones a little tighter. Consume actual news. Take one step at a time. And then practically speaking, prepare yourself for what next to come. If you were delaying medical procedures or checkups, get them now. I know holidays, schmolidays, but get it. If you were waiting to get your immunization for something, get it now. Think about it. So for that reason, just let's get practical. The whole fed worker thing and CMS has me rattled a bit. I totally understand, Bonnie. And this is what really affects directly. I don't want to reveal too much, but this is really close to your heart, certainly, and wallet and plans. Yeah, get your vaccines. Exactly. Get them as soon as possible. Also, if you can get like any, gloves or whatever, like you need to get masks, whatever. We don't know what's going to come, but if you have access to it, maybe at your hospital or somewhere locally, you can get it for free. Like in New York, we have that. Get it, because you don't know what's going to happen next, because that's certainly something that the new guys don't believe in. Got flu shot today. Oh, I hope you're feeling good. Or, not as bad. I always, for me, it's not a good one to take in. I'll be screwed if Trump goes through with ripping away Social Security. Let's hope he doesn't. And, even if he starts, it's a process. So I agree with, let's say, Professor Snyder, whom I showed you yesterday, where he said, Democrats have to do everything to prohibit that type of momentum for Trump administration, just to bombard with, legal issues and just stick to defending the Constitution. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. See you tomorrow morning. Your latest newsletter is sent out. Get on board. Read it. This is actual news. If you want to share it, here, by the way, like it. If you watch it, like it. I want to see if you see this YouTube thing, because it's being hidden. It's being hidden on Twitter also, but I already, give up on that hope. So here's the newsletter again, honest.substack.com. Honest Press and Honest Network, but Honest Press is me, is everywhere on TikTok and Instagram. So if you use anything, and Blue Sky and Threads. So if you left X and or Twitter and you don't know where to connect, Honest Press, ONEST Press, PRESS, is everywhere. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good night. Stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy. See you tomorrow morning.